the median age of a first-time home buyer in 1995 was 29 years old, and in 2019 it's 33, and I would bet that it's a little bit higher in 2023, but we didn't have data that goes back that far. So I think, well, basically, you know, generational milestones are taking longer for everybody. So people are having kids later, people are buying houses later, they're finally making decent money later, and it's an interesting phenomenon. Do you guys think that this is a choice mostly, or is it based off of economics?
I think it's a combination of both. But you are seeing a lot of more kids going to college, graduating college, and coming straight back home just because they can't do it on their own. They can't make it on their own. But I also feel like there is a difference in just it's a generational difference. Like in 92, it was that get out, go make money straight out of college, get to it. Whereas now it's like this generation is just completely different. It's like, find your purpose, find your passion. Don't take a less playing job, stay, whatever. So I feel like there's more options and it's more leeway for this generation in a sense. Whereas back in the 90s, it was kind of pushed where it's like, you got to go be an adult now.
Do you think part of that, because I've heard the argument where, and my brother makes this argument, who's producing, shout out to Kevin, where why the heck am I going to work so hard and be so dedicated to get a job, and then I still can't, I can barely pay my bills.
Or I hate it.
If you're in the 90s and you worked hard, you could, afford your house, buy a house, have kids, get promotions at your job, go on vacation. Life was a lot easier, so why am I going to kill myself to try to get ahead when I probably feel like I can't? So I feel like that's maybe where that attitude is coming from, self-care, but you're going to lean into self-care and stuff like that versus grinding or going out there and getting it, because people feel like there's nothing out there for them to go get.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that, because I'm the biggest pull yourself up by the bootstraps person, but the goalpost is moving further and further and further away. And to me, I see why people are like, this game is impossible, I'm just not going to play it.
Yeah, it's definitely been a shift in mindsets, because you got to think back in the 90s, you got a lot of blue collar work. The men were getting up and they were going to work and they were doing what they had to do to take care of their families, whether they liked the job or not.
Well, my mom has an associate's degree, okay? And she got into a radiation oncology program, and she was making six figures with an associate's degree. And at the top of her income level with an associate's degree running a cancer center, she was making over $250,000 a year. And when I talk to her, it's maddening, because she thinks she didn't make a lot of money. And I'm like, you have no idea what it's like today, where $100,000 is a lot, but now, after all this inflation, $100,000 is
like $50,000.
Yeah, it's not hitting the same. So I think the generational differences on the economy have changed a lot of things. I think naturally people would want to have kids and get together and do all that kind of stuff, but the economy stops it. Have you heard guys say, "Oh, I can't have kids yet because I don't make enough money," or "I can't get married because I don't make enough money," So I think that's really the consideration. Or I want to get my life together, and the problem is people are getting their life together in their late 30s. They're buying their first house at 33. That's their starter home. Right. That's not the home that you're raising all your kids and doing. That's like your springboard into wealth that we always talk about. So I don't know.
But back in the 90s, you bought a house, you could support almost up to 4, 5, 6 even kids. Nowadays, the average birth rate per couple is 1.8 children. Right. So you're barely having 2 kids. you know, with the economy the way that it is now, obviously with inflation and things like that. So that 100,000 that your mom was making, which was probably really good money, she got a bet, you know, she can get bang for her buck back in the day.
Yeah,
That
we went
same
to the
100,000
Bahamas
now,
the
right?
whole family, you know, I look at the price.
Yeah, your
oh.
paycheck to paycheck now at 100,000. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's just scratching the surface of, you know, what do they say? Like, you know, middle income or middle class is 100,000 at this point, and it also depends on where you living at as well. But you know, you take 100,000 up to New York, that's nothing.
Oh yeah, that's
You know what I mean? 100,000 in South Jersey might be great. 100,000 in L.A., you might as well live on the streets.